and business matters.
We'll go ahead and begin. I appreciate everybody's interest in attending this afternoon's agenda meeting. Immediately following the agenda meeting, we'll have a special call meeting of the Board of Directors to review applicants for positions on commissions and committees of the City of Hot Springs. So we'll, in the absence of, well, Mr. Bill Burrell, welcome. He's
Thank you.
tuning
Thank
in
you.
remote, but Lance, are you leading us or Bill leading us?
I'll read the words on the page.
All right, we're off.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. On your meeting for October 7th, we will have a couple of guests. We'll have Gary Troutman with the Greater Hot Springs Chamber of Commerce and Metro Partnership. He will be delivering his economic development report, and additionally, Amos Gray with the High Impact Movement will present his 2025 performance report.
And I'd like to add Tracy Childress and maybe another from the Cooper Anthony Child Advocacy Center. They had a special event last weekend, and they're going to provide us an update.
Very good. We will get those added. Alrighty, with that, we will move into your consent agenda section. The first 4 items deal with appointments to the boards and commissions, which will be handled immediately following the agenda meeting. So we will spare those particular items and move on to item 5, which is consider resolution R-25-177, resolution confirming the reappointment of Dr. Bruce Mitchell to position 1 on the Hot Springs Housing Authority Board of Commissioners, and Harmony Morrissey, City Clerk. Take it away.
Thank you. In August of 2024, the Board of Directors appointed Dr. Bruce Mitchell to fulfill the remainder of a term for position 1 on the Housing Authority Board of Commissioners. That term expired on August 16th of 2025. After advertising the expiring position, the Housing Authority interviewed the only applicant, which was Dr. Mitchell, and on September 15th voted unanimously to reappoint him to position 1 for a full 5-year term. The Commission now asks the Board of Directors to confirm this appointment.
Any questions of Ms. Harmony? Hearing none. Thank you.
Okay. Next on your consent agenda is consider resolution R-25-178. That's a resolution awarding a contract to RJN Group Incorporated for project administration and management, bid preparation and support, and construction phase services for the Lower Golfa Interceptor Schedule 2. We have our city engineer, Mr. Gary Carnahan.
Thank you. So our phase Schedule 1 was about a $9 million sewer main replacement project, Lower Golfa Interceptor, major part of our consent administrative order work. And this is for the the remainder of that, Schedule 2, which is a $13 million contract. And so we have that contract, you've already awarded that contract, and now we need to hire a RJN Group to be our construction administrator for that project and prepare at the end of the project to prepare as-built drawings for our records. So this is a request to approve RJN for a contract amount $223,135.
Any questions on this item? Hearing none. Thank you.
Next up is consider resolution R-25-179, a resolution awarding a term contract to Washita Landworks LLC for certain property maintenance, goods, and services. We have our Planning and Development Director, Kathy Selman.
Thank you. Hot Springs Code, Title 17, Property Maintenance, in its purpose and intent, states that it is to ensure the public health, safety, and welfare insofar as they are affected by the conditions and maintenance of existing structures and premises, and to ensure that consistent community standards are applied to all property. Accordingly, at times, following proper notice procedures and time to remediate violations of the code, the city must act to bring structures and/or premises into compliance. This bid had 3 responses: Jaycon Inc. of Bryan, Washita Land Works, Arkadelphia, and Trip H Land Services of Hot Springs. After review and evaluation, Washita Land Works was deemed the lowest responsive bidder. A notice to intent to award this contract was published and no protests were received. The contract term is 1 year with 4 12-month terms, subject to annual budget approval by Hot Springs Board of Directors. The contract will renew automatically unless either party supplies 30-day written notice of cancellation. The city reserves the right to accept or decline any and all price increases.
Any questions for Kathy? Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Ms. Kathy, how many other bids were there?
How
Did
many
you mention
other?
it? Yeah,
0?
okay.
There were 3 total.
Oh, there were 3 total?
Yes.
Okay. Will that be included in our packet?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Kathy, what's the scope of work, the duties that are going to be provided or
Um,
covered?
What they will do is mow, clean up, close up openings, doors and windows, and that is about it. So lot clearing, boarding, and securing.
Any further questions of the board? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R-25-180. This is a resolution awarding a term contract for aluminum chloride hydroxide sulfate to Americhem LLC, and we have Cody Howell, our Water Facilities Operations Manager.
Thank you. The city issued a request for proposals to provide the city's utility department with aluminum chloride hydroxide sulfate to a term contract. 2 proposals were submitted by Americhem LLC and Hawkins Inc. The committee reviewed and evaluated the 2 responses, and Americhem received the highest rating. Staff recommends awarding the term contract to Americhem as the highest rated responder. A notice of intent to award was published and has since expired without any protest. Staff recommends awarding the term contract to be awarded to Americhem.
Any questions on this? Director Holliday?
Thank you. You said this was a rate and rank.
Yes, ma'am.
Since it's for a product, why is it not a low bid? What is different about this particular product?
Cody's explanation of that to me yesterday was that this had to do with the quality of the chemical that's being provided, the parts per million, and
Okay.
things of that nature. So it actually changes the number of shipments that we have to receive.
Okay.
It works better at their plant. It's the same product that they've been using previously.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, consider resolution R-25-181, a resolution approving change order number 3 to the contract with Christ Engineers Incorporated for the continuation of construction management services, task order number 28 to the master services agreement for the new water treatment plant. And we have our city engineer, Gary Carnahan.
Thank you. Our water treatment plant is moving well. I don't know if you've been out there in a while, but it's really going to be wonderful. But because of equipment deliveries during all of this construction period, we're not expecting the plant to be completed until March of 2026. So our engineering contract with Christ had anticipated October 2025 when they calculated their fee for construction administration and inspection. So we need to add another 150 days to that contract. And so we'll be asking the board to approve an addition to their contract of $180,480 to continue the inspection and construction administration for the water plant.
Any questions on this item? Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Mr. Gary, are their rates, like hourly rates, remaining the same through this extension? Or were they
Yes.
increased?
They are.
They are? Okay. Will all those kind of details be included in our packet? too?
Right, the proposal and the, let me make sure we have the rate sheet. It's still the same rate sheet, so we may not have included that, but I can check and see. I mean, I can
Please
reach
do.
back and pull the old rate sheet out and put it in there.
Okay, thank you.
I need to double check that packet and see.
And you
make
were
myself
saying
a
it,
note.
it was previously determined to be finished October of '25, but we're seeing that they're gonna need some more time, about 180 days, you said, so it'll run
One-
through March '26?
right.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any additional questions?
Mayor, if I could add one thing.
Go ahead.
Should the plant be completed mid-January, February, as far as testing and so forth, this amount that we're asking for tonight will be reduced. So if they come in and we get the plant in early, it won't be that full amount.
Right. Good point. I forgot to mention that.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Okay, your next item is consider resolution R25-182, a resolution approving work order number 12 to the master services agreement for wastewater services with Christ Engineers Incorporated for the Davidson Drive wastewater treatment plant, filter number 3 and filter number 4 improvements in the amount of $403,000. We have Gary Carnahan, city engineer.
Thank you. At a wastewater plant, before the wastewater, when it's treated and before it's discharged and into our disinfection part, we have also filtration, tertiary filters that the water goes through for an extra level of treatment. And we have 2 of those filters in place, but we need 2 more for high flow situations and for redundancy, so that when one is down to be cleaned, we can continue to have full capacity of tertiary treatment. So this is all part of our work at the plant. This is a request to hire Christ Engineers to perform the design services and construction administration services for the installation of the 2 additional tertiary filters. And their fee would be $403,000.
Have any questions on this? Over and above the design and the oversight, is the capital cost, was that part of our bond issue, or is this an added?
Yes, sir. We have 2 more items coming before you this evening and at the board meeting related to these tertiary filters. And those are a part of the bond, part of the bond purchase
Part of
we
the
had
original
budgeted.
project.
Right. This particular item, I'll go ahead and say, is more than we had budgeted. We have other items in our, that, we're bidding that are lower. So altogether, we're still running close to even with our estimates on the bond. And we have about $24 million of projects still remaining that we haven't bid yet. So we're still hoping that it's going to come out that the bottom line will still be as we had hoped, as we had planned.
Director Garcia?
Thank you, Mayor. On these change orders to Christ Engineering, are these different teams that do the work, or is it the same people doing work on both?
I don't know the exact answer to that. We have one project manager, Craig Johnson, who manages all of our projects for Christ with the wastewater side. Back home at the office, I don't know exactly who's working on which part of the design work. I'm not sure I can answer that.
But that information will be, those rate sheets and the people that are in those positions will be in our packet.
Right. Yeah, it's the same, right, exactly. So it's the same rate sheet. The rate sheets just say engineer 1, engineer 2, technician 1, technician 2. They don't have names associated with it. So I was talking about the names. But as far as the fee, the rates for a particular skill set would be the same.
But it's one project manager,
Yes, ma'am. Craig.
and the additional hours that for each of these change orders will be included in there?
Well, this is not a, this is a separate contract to design the tertiary filters. It's not really a change order. It's a, we did a rate, we asked them to give us a, this was kind of, in other words, we've already designed the whole plant renovations, and now we have the money to do the tertiary filters. So it's a kind of a standalone design for those filters.
But he's going to be the manager of that project too.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Director Garcia, if I could, we have two issues here, wastewater projects and water projects. Item number 9 had to do with the water treatment plant.
Right.
And that was a change order. Item number 10 has to do with the wastewater. It's not a change order, it's a work order under their master.
But it's a project manager for
And we have.
water?
We
And
have,
it-
yes, we have.
And what I'm getting at, how much time? Are we getting charged 80 hours a week because he's overseeing 2 different projects? Or is it, how are we charged? That's what I was getting at.
Okay, so the way that works is the engineering firm, whenever you ask them to give you a price for something, they try to detail out how long is it going to take us to design the retaining wall portion? How long is it going to take us to, and how many engineering hours and drafting and support staff are we going to need to do that? How many hours are going to take to do the piping renovations, to detail out the filters? And they spread that, they do internally, they do a spreadsheet. I used to be in the consulting business. Internally, they do a spreadsheet and spread those man hours and enter them into with their rates and calculate the total at the bottom. And so then they come to us and say, this is going to be $403,000. So that's the way that.
So
It's
it
calculated.
ends up being a not to exceed.
Yeah, but my question is about the project management.
Yeah.
Right.
If I could add on that, I mean, when we're dealing with not just Chris, but any of our engineering firms, we don't want to talk to 4 or 5 different people in the company. We want one person that's going to handle our account. We're going to talk to them. He may have a team, and I could probably name off 3 or 4 of those that are back at his shop that's doing different portions of the design, whether it's the electrical,
I understand that.
you know. But the project manager he's not being paid $403 or $403,000. He's just our point of contact for that firm for all of those items.
On the water side of it, it's Matt Dunn. On the wastewater side of it, it's Craig Johnson.
So going back to your question, so the project manager hours are just the hours that he thinks he will personally be involved doing the different tasks.
On each
And
one that he
back,
manages.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so he may have a person in the office that spends more time working on, a lot more time working on the project than he will. And, you know, being a manager also in his company, he has other clients even besides us, so he's not charging us for all of his time.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any additional questions?
Mayor, to try to put this in a little bit of context, you're going to, as Gary said, you got 2 more items dealing with tertiary filters. They're kind of coming at you almost in reverse order. The first item that he just described is the engineering work associated with that. Next, you'll have the actual installation, the construction side of it. Lastly, you'll have the purchase of the tertiary filters themselves.
Right. These are like some of the books of the Bible, they're not in chronological order.
Okay. Oh, Director Trustee has a question.
Thank you, Mayor. Gary, this is for tertiary filters 3 and 4. Are they vastly different from filters 1 and 2?
No, and you'll see on our last item that I'll bring this evening that we're
Okay.
going to be asking you to waive competitive bidding and let us buy the same brand and the same model number for the 3 and 4 that we have for 1 and 2.
Well, 3 and 4 work differently than 1 and 2.
No,
This engineering cost of $400,000 for something that we already have, it just seems high to me.
well, I appreciate that. It also includes our construction administration, contracting,
Right.
et cetera. But in order to prepare the site. The site where we built the first two was a nice level site. Then, as you live in Garland County, you may know that then it drops off from there. So we're having to do a lot of dirt work, retaining walls and fill and concrete work, and a lot of large pipes have to be extended over to the location for the two new filters. So it's not just drawing a picture of a filter. It's more complicated, plus the electrical and all those things that go into it.
All right. Additional questions? Hearing none. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Carnahan will have the next one as well. Resolution R 25-183, a resolution approving a change order to the construction management at risk contract with Max Foot Construction Company, LLC, for the UV effluent chamber and the new tertiary filter structures not to exceed $3,520,000. Mr. Carnahan.
All right. Yes. So this is the second item related to the tertiary filters. This also includes an outlet structure at the end of the ultraviolet chambers, a new partial flume, and a large concrete collection box that with a piping that goes out then to our outfall to Lake Catherine. So it's where everything ends at the plant. We've talked in the past about the headworks of the plant. So this is the opposite end of the plant. And we have to have a major structure that's sized for the new discharge of the plant. And so that is included in here, plus all the concrete work and piping that I just talked to you about, electrical, et cetera, that's required to install these tertiary filters. So our price from Max Foot Company is $3,520,000 for all that work.
Any questions of Gary on this item? Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So if what's coming to us now, Mr. Gary, is a change order, and this includes, again, going back to those, how do you say it?
Tertiary.
Say
Max
that word.
Foot.
Tertiary filters?
Tertiary.
How do you say?
Tertiary.
Tertiary filters, these filters, what was it not to exceed prior to this resolution, the change order? It's coming to us now not to exceed $3.5 million. Where was it at prior to the change order?
You mean the cost of the plant?
Yeah, the overall cost.
Okay, so the cost of the plant currently is $34,830,142.
Gary, I think
But
it's
this is,
important to
I'm
point
just
out
speaking of the chamber and then the structures.
this is
just-
a new project.
Yeah, the new project, just the chamber, the UV, that's what we're talking about, right?
The outlet
UV,
structure, the
effluent
outlet structure, the outlet structure and the tertiary filters.
Yeah.
But Gary, is this a whole new component
Well,
of the
it's
project?
whole
Right,
or-
work.
this is all new. So
Okay.
I'm not, yeah. There
Gotcha.
wasn't any prior,
Thank you, that's what they were
okay.
getting at.
That helps me out too. Okay, thank you.
Mayor, I have one more thing to add if I could.
Pardon?
I have one more thing to add if I could.
Go right ahead.
It's important to note why we're doing the tertiary filters as well. When we have high rain events, we have a lot of additional capacity that hits the plant. And so these two tertiary filters will allow us to move from a 48,000 MGD to 96,000 MGD. So when we have heavy rain events and our pond's full and we have to do any kind of blending, we want to make sure it goes through those tertiary filters. But it's not just adding two filters because we want that redundancy. It's going to allow us to process 96,000 million gallons a day where we don't have that capacity today.
Kind of piggybacking off of what Bill was saying, so these filters, as it relates to wastewater management and overflow that could happen as it results to an excess amount of rainwater, would the 96 MGD, it's 96,000, right, or 96 million per day?
Million.
Million. Would that be just at the main wastewater site, or would this be kind of citywide? Would it be like, you know, at the other pump stations, or would these filters just control kind of the overflow at the main wastewater site?
It will benefit the entire system.
Right.
If you're moving that much effluent to the plant and it can't handle it, it
Then the
backs
other
up.
ones backs up.
So doubling it with the two new tertiary filters is going to double the capacity to be able to handle those wet events.
So say, you know, pump station, you know, Stokes Creek has a pump station, Foxwood has a pump station. If we were to add this to the current 40 million MGDs, 40 million MGDs per day now, the two additional filters will bring it up to 96, then the impact that it could have at these other pump stations would benefit too?
The
Be
entire-
less likely of those pump stations having any overflow if we add these two filters?
The
Is that
entire,
kinda-
the entire system.
So the 3.5 million, if it's kind of new as it relates to these two filters, a new addition, would it have any kind of impact on the wastewater bond? Are we still going to be able to meet the goal of not exceeding what the bond
amount.
covers? Right.
Well, that's,
I know we had a bunch, you know, 2 or 3 items here within the last probably 4 to 6 months where we were coming in under.
Well,
So is-
interestingly, you'll see a negative change order of 2.7.
Right,
in just a
I
minute,
saw that.
so.
But
this
going
one,
back to
this
my
one is,
question.
this one is over budget. Oh, by budget, I mean, the number that we had in the bond request was not enough to cover these costs. But fortunately, we've had a few others that were lower. So we're still thinking we're about even at this point.
So to fulfill all remaining projects, if you will, I think you were saying there might be $24 million worth of projects. This
Right, there's still-
3.5 isn't going to prevent us from exceeding that $24 million, you're
That's
thinking?
what, that depends on how those $24 million projects come in.
Okay.
So, but we're we're hoping and praying that it'll come in, but you'll be involved in every step of the way as we get closer. But we still have 24 million out there out of the 68 million that we haven't bid out, or we don't have plans yet to bid those out, so.
Okay, thank you.
These are two new tertiary filters, but they were always part of the project. These are not new to our bond projects. These were always in the project.
Director Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. Do you have a reconciliation of these over and unders that can be
I don't
included in
have
the
that with,
packet?
I don't have that with me. Usually, our finance director keeps track of, she keeps us all honest on the ups and downs of the money.
That we could have in our packet? Yes. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'm sticking around for one more.
All right.
Let's see, I think.
No, I think you're excused for,
Oh, okay.
You get a breather.
yeah,
Very
you get a
good.
breather for a moment.
Thank you all.
Yeah, don't go far.
Don't leave.
Next, final item of your consent agenda is consider resolution R 25-184, a resolution approving work order number 2503 to the at-risk construction management and general contractor services agreement with Hill and Cox Corporation for the remodel of 900 Whittington Avenue, not to exceed $1,751,341. And we have Ron Seabright, Public Works Director.
Good afternoon. We've been working with Hill and Cox and our designer, architect, to bring this project to fruition. Right now, we have an estimate that will be at $1,501,341 with the project if we don't run any oddities or unexpected items. We plugged in a $250,000 contingency just in case we run into some unexpected construction costs. So the total project will be $1,751,341. We'll have a copy of the contract, the plans, and the work order inside your packet. That includes all the information on what it's going to look like when it's finished.
Any questions of Ron? Director, trustee?
Thank you, Mayor. Ron, this will complete that project at 900 Whittington?
Yes, sir.
This is everything for
Yes,
that
sir.
project? Okay, great, thank you.
And that includes a paved parking lot?
Yes, sir.
Holiday, do you have a question?
No, I was just surprised that was at the top of your list to ask about.
It wasn't at the top, it was at the bottom of the list. Top of the list
Just curious.
was satisfied. Well, I know we were cutting a new entryway, at least it was gonna be on the east end and,
A lot of that we're doing in-house.
okay. Very good. Any further questions? Or additional questions? Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ron. Okay, now we'll transition to old business. We have consider resolution R25-124, resolution declaring a certain structure located at 302 Lincoln Street a nuisance and condemning same pursuant to Title 17 of the Hot Springs Code, and we have our city attorney, Brian Albright, to discuss.
Thank you, Lance. This is a continuation of your discussion concerning a condemnation on Lincoln Street owned by the Wood Fork Estate. As we reported last time, there is an attorney working on closing that estate. I had communication with him yesterday. There is an order sitting on the judge's desk. The judge has been away for a couple of weeks. It may have even been entered today, but in any event, the estate should be in a position to be able to take title to that property by the time you meet. If they do, your decision will be whether or not to proceed with condemnation, understanding that they have the ability to take out the permits now that they have legal right to do so, to make the necessary repairs to bring it back up to code, or to not condemn it and wait until we see what progress is made later. My recommendation is probably going to be, as it usually is, to go ahead and enter the condemnation with the understanding that the rightful owners now have the ability to get the permits necessary to bring it up to code.
Any questions of Brian? Hearing none. Thank you.
Okay, we will move into your new business section. First item, consider resolution R25-185 is a resolution approving a negative change order to the contract with Diamond Construction Company Incorporated to remove Schedule 3 from the Spring Street Gravity Sewer Project, and that is in the amount of $2,761,392. And welcome back, Gary.
Thanks again. This is related to a Spring Street sewer relocation project, and we had bid this out and awarded the contract to Diamond Construction Company. But when we met with the National Park Service and found that they are requesting environmental studies that we did not anticipate, and so in discussing this with the contractor, we all felt that it was better to just terminate this phase, this portion. He has Schedule 2 and 3 in his contract. This is Schedule 3. It's better to just terminate that portion of his contract before he gets started, and then we can complete our environmental studies and revisit this at another time. So the amount of that contract that we can remove is $2,761,392. So we're asking the board to approve a negative change order and remove that from his contract.
Any questions?
They'll continue to complete the remainder of the contract.
Right. He's going to finish up the other part.
Director Holliday?
Thank you. I imagine this is creating a bit of a delay. We're not doing construction outside of this that would take the place. We're just not doing this section of the project for now, and then hopefully sooner than later we'll rebid it, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have any idea? I know environmental reviews have almost no consistency on how long they take, but do we have any idea what type of delay this is creating?
I'm going to think of at least a year.
Okay. What does that do for our whole project? Like,
Well,
can
we
we
have,
make up the time elsewhere?
I think this project is in the, I can't remember, I think this is in the 3-year bond. So, is that what you're talking about? We have our bond money is divided into 2 parts. Some needs to be spent within a 3-year period, others a 5-year period. And I can't remember off the top of my head, I think this is in the 3-year bond period, so that would challenge us, although actually, as long as we spend the amount of money that was set aside for the 3-year bond, it doesn't matter from that point of view. And we're spending money quickly, as you can see here tonight. And so we're not going to have any problem staying ahead of the 3-year spend down on the bond.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Director Garcia?
Thank you. Is there, during this delay or temporary stop on this, will there be any ramifications, will we have overflows? What, on the sewage side, will this ramifications, if any, would you include that in our packet?
No, I don't, we don't think it, I'm going to say no. It doesn't have any, we're going to be replacing everything downstream of here. So there is one overflow right at the beginning of this project, but we think it's caused because of restrictions downstream of this particular manhole, and that when we complete the remainder of the project downstream, that won't be a problem anymore. So I don't think this has any negative implications about that.
And is one of these others the project manager for this project?
This is also under Craig, well, this is actually was, let me think just a minute. This project was designed by Hawkins Weir. We hired a different engineering company. Because we had so much work to do, we actually have 4 engineering companies working on different parts, different projects that are in the bond issue. And this was completed by Hawkins Weir Company.
And Hawkins is the project manager?
They are, yes, ma'am.
And
One of the people with Hawkins Weir, yes, ma'am.
so do we get any credit from them for not
They-
covering the work,
They're-
what needed to be done with the Park Service?
Not a credit, but there were additional, if we had continued on, there would have been additional charges from Hawkins Weir for the inspection of this part of the project. But because we're reducing it, we won't have to do that. So there's savings in engineering, but it's not a reduction in we already had an existing contract with Hawkins Weir, and that contract is adequate for what they need to do without asking for any additional funding.
Thank you.
So Gary, basically, the money that's already been spent on this component of the project isn't money lost. We're just delaying the implementation. All the information's the same. You may have to dust it off in a year and verify a few things, but by and large, what's going on the shelf is still going to be usable in a year from now.
Right, the plans would still be usable, assuming everything works out with its environmental studies.
Right.
I have a caveat about
Well,
that.
let me ask you, is part of this on national park property or?
Yes, once we cross, as you know, once we cross Grand Avenue, this project starts south and comes up Spring Creek, and then we bore underneath Grand Avenue, and then from there on, we're in the national park property for a long time, so.
Okay.
Mayor, if I could add one thing.
Yes, please.
So this will not affect any of our non-taxable or taxable funds. We're going to spend the non-taxable. So these will all be taxable, won't have a time frame of or penalty because we don't have them done in 3 years, this particular project. All of this is in the gorge. It starts at the gorge through the campground and proceeds on. The environmental that we'll be doing is going to take some time because every 10 meters, about every 33 feet, we have to dig a 2 by 2 foot section for their archaeologists to come in and look at that. And that goes all the way down. So all of that work's still going to be continuing. I'm hoping that we'll come back to this project, but we have one big project that's still sitting out there, and it's estimated to be about $14 million. And that's the dewatering portion of our plant, where it dewaters, turns into what we typically now what we do now is take it up to a compost. With the amount of volumes we have coming in, we're going to have to rebuild that dewatering, plus it's decades old. So once we have that designed, have it bid out, and Gary, I think that's going to be maybe mid next year, we'll know what that cost is on that 14 million. As Gary mentioned earlier, we're kind of even right now. We don't really have contingency funds. So that was the reasoning really to postpone this one to the end, to give us some contingency when we bid out that 14 million. Monty's at WEFTEC literally today. He's got 8 meetings lined up with different dewatering companies to talk about this project, and hopefully we'll have 8 bidders that'll come in, and we'll see that coming in under that 14 million. But it's a delay, not one that we won't do. And if I remember correctly, and I don't have it in front of me, but I do not think this particular project was part of the CAO for the 2020 I'm sorry. I don't think this one was the 25 CAO. So we've got time. It's actually, I think, 2030.
Okay. Any additional questions? Director Trustee?
Thank you, Mayor. Gary, Diamond was agreeable to cancel this contract.
Yes, sir.
This is the full amount. They didn't request
There's
any
about
damages.
$50,000 where they had already purchased bonding
Okay.
and insurance for that project, so we had to compensate them for that.
Okay.
So otherwise, it's the full amount.
All right. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you all.
Okay. Next up, you're moving into the ordinance section of your new business. This is ordinance 02537, an ordinance waiving competitive bidding and approving the purchase of 2 additional tertiary filters at the Davidson Drive wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $3,528,920. And again, we have Mr. Carnahan.
Thank you. So we've talked a lot about the tertiary filters, and rather than include them in our contractors, Max Foot Construction, we think we can save some money by buying them direct, but also we need to get them we need to order them as soon as possible. And there's a 24 to 30 week delivery period after our engineers approve the submittals from the manufacturer. So we're looking at 6 months from now before we can get the filters in place. So we want to expedite that by asking you all to waive competitive bidding and allow us to purchase from the same manufacturer, Aqua Aerobic Systems, the same type of filters that we have in place now. So that makes our operation a smooth operation there. And so that will, as Bill was saying, potentially increase the wet weather flows from 48 to 96 MGD. Also, I just will mention that these are filters, so they clog. They catch, their purpose is to catch things and clog up. Then they're doing their job. So we have to shut it down to clean the filters. So we need redundancy so that we can keep flowing through the other 3 while we're cleaning the one. Right now, we just have 2. So when we have to clean one, we lose half our capacity while we're cleaning. So this is a much better and an important addition to the plant. The cost from Aqua Aerobic Systems is $3,528,920 for those 2 filters. So we'd like to ask the board on next Tuesday night to approve the purchase of those filters.
Okay, any questions? So Gary, so on the, basically you got 3 items that we'll be addressing on Tuesday night that are focused on this component. You got the Chris Engineering Consulting, you got the construction of the site with the electrical utilities and all that, and then this is the filter itself going in there.
Yes, sir.
So we're right around a little over $8 million for that, if my math is right. Well, close to
7.5, about
$7.5
$7.5 million. It's a big purchase.
Yeah.
A big addition to the plant, and our plant operator, Harold Malden, is thrilled that he's going to finally be able to have these in the plant.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, next item is consider ordinance 02538, an ordinance approving the filing of a transfer of location application by Sadiq Mir for private club permit 20-01 to be relocated from 256 Central Avenue to 334 Central Avenue. And our city clerk, Harmony Morrissey, will discuss.
Thank you. Sadiq and Jeannie Meir recently sold their business Indulge, which was located at 256 Central Avenue. They wish to transfer that private club liquor license permit to a new location at 334 Central, where they plan to operate Ohio Club Sip and Swag Shop. State law requires that such applications be accompanied by a copy of an ordinance from the governing body of the municipality where the private club wishes to be located. In your packet, you will find the completed ABC application form with the attachments for your review, and this ordinance would accompany that application and then be submitted to ABC by the Mears. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions on this?
Okay.
Does the private club permit allow a different type of operation?
This would be the same private club permit that they've had. It would just be a continuation. So it would be a continuation of what they had at their previous location.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, your next item is consider ordinance 02539. This is an ordinance waiving the requirements of competitive bidding and approving the emergency temporary lease of an aircraft rescue and firefighting vehicle from Cidians Martin Emergency Group and approving a budget amendment in the amount of $65,821.37. And Airport Director Don Roulette will discuss.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On this, we're requesting a waiving of the competitive bidding. As part of a 139 airport under the FAA regulations, we have several requirements that we have to adhere to. One of those is providing specialized firefighting equipment for aircraft. We refer to that as the ARF vehicle. And our ARF vehicle is currently out of service with some significant maintenance issues that are currently being worked on, but it will be out of service for an extended period of time. And we're requesting a 3-month temporary lease of an ARF vehicle from the company Cidians and Martin out of Texas. The total for the 3 months that we're looking at is the $65,821.37. Speaking with them earlier today, they are hoping to be ready to transport early next week to have us in that. While we're not having this ARF vehicle, we're out of compliance with the FAA. So this would be a 3-month lease, and hopefully ours will be repaired during that time frame.
Any questions on this item? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is consider ordinance 02540, an ordinance approving PD plan development plan for the Bush Park Edition blocks, Block 10, lots 11 and 12, generally located at 109 Oma Street. And Kathy Selman, Planning and Development Director, here to discuss.
Thank you. The applicant is Garland County Habitat for Humanity, represented by Executive Director Cindy Wagstaff. And Habitat is requesting approval of a PD development plan, which would then allow the replatting of lots 11 and 12, Block 10 of Bush Park Addition, from 2 lots into 3 separate lots. The property has approximate dimension of 100 by 144 feet. It has street frontage on both Oma and Castleton Streets. It's in an older neighborhood near the center of the city. It is in District Number 1. The minimum RN5 lot size, and this is not a change of zone. This is acceptance of a plan development site plan that would allow for some deviation from the existing zoning. So the minimum RN5 lot size for a single-family attached home is 4,250 square feet per dwelling. In order to build a single-family detached dwelling, 6,500 square feet is required per dwelling. And the applicant is seeking approval to build three-bedroom, single-family detached rather than attached homes on the existing lots 11 and 12. And while the lots aggregate size of approximately 14,500 square feet is 113% of what would be required to support 3 attached single-family homes, it falls short when it comes to dividing that land into individual lots. And Habitat's home ownership model facilitates single-family affordable home ownership on individual lots. So they are requesting this slight deviation in square feet of lot per home. Per Hot Springs Code, plan developments, PD, are intended to encourage and allow more creative and flexible development of land than is possible under district zoning regulations, and to provide enhanced design and amenities to the city. The underlying zoning district dimensional design and use regulations will continue to apply to a PD unless specifically modified through approval. In this case, the applicant is requesting a setback exception on only one side, and this would only be for one lot. And they are requesting an exception to the setback on the corner side from 10 feet to 8 feet. And that would be only one side setback that would be an exception here. The exceptions that they are requesting in order to build 3 attainable houses would be the reduction of that corner side yard setback, granting a minimum lot size exception for the RN5 zone district to allow a land division into 3 lots. One would be 5,000 square feet and 2 would be 4,500 square feet, which, while smaller than the minimum lot size of 6,500 square feet in that zone, they're otherwise generally consistent with other developed lots in the vicinity. There would also be a minimum lot width exception from 65 feet of minimum width to 50 feet. Habitat believes that the workforce affordable housing set-aside, which is one of the factors that can result from a planned development being granted. Habitat believes that this standard is met by their 25-year 0% mortgage for the total cost of the home and by a 10-year silent second mortgage on the equity for the total appraised value of the property. The first mortgage also includes provisions to ensure that the home is the buyer's primary residence for the duration of the first mortgage. By providing new attainable homes, Habitat is helping to implement both the Hot Springs Housing Strategy and Forward Hot Springs Comprehensive Plan. Garland County Habitat for Humanity is the sole owner of the subject land at this time as required by Hot Springs Code. The plan development proposes flexibility in the development of land, encourages a creative approach to the use of land that results in additional housing, allows better utilization of the land, provides efficient use for more effective arrangement of structures, and facilitates the implementation of adopted city land use policies, particularly with respect for areas of potential redevelopment as described in Hot Springs Code, Section 16 to 14.4A, purpose. Planning Commission considered this item at its duly advertised September 11th, 2025 meeting. After calling for testimony, and no testimony was offered, and considering the record, Planning Commission voted 7-0 to accept the findings and recommendation of the staff report, to recommend that the Board of Directors adopt an ordinance approving Castleton Oma PD for Bush Park Addition, Block 10, lots 11 and 12, with 8 conditions, including the description of those exceptions that I mentioned as to the corner side yard setback, the minimum lot size exception, and the minimum lot width. Should this be approved, the creation of the 3 lots would be subject to final plat approval, and that would be done separately should you determine that you want to approve this ordinance.
Director Webb?
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Kathy, when you're telling us Block 10, lots 11 and 12, how does that relate to parcels? I'm looking at a map here of the city where the parcels are, and I'm showing 109 Oma Street, 42370 is the parcel number for 109. Would that be Block 10, and then 11 and 12 hop back due west? Or I'm looking at a map. I know you'll probably have it in our packets and everything, but
It will be in the packet, and the
if you need me to wait
map
till then.
I have does not have a parcel on it,
So
so
it's a parcel number. Would that be different from a planning perspective? Would that be different than a lot number?
a lot is a legal description.
Okay.
When land is divided, one of the outcomes is a name for each piece of land that can be transferred. So if you want to buy Lot 9, then you can buy it and ask for it by name. Just like if you
Okay.
want to buy a can of soup, you can ask for it by name. The parcel is attached to the taxes and is the number that is given in the mailing of the tax bill, if you will. So it's a number of convenience for tax purposes. The legal name of the land is lots.
Lot. So
Yes.
would where 109 is now, 109 is parcel number 42370. Would that, which block or lot is that?
That is both lots,
That's both lots, 11
Right.
and 12?
yes.
And then is 10 the next two, or that whole block?
Okay,
That's
it's,
the whole block, and then
Yes.
lots 11 and 12 are in that parcel?
That's
correct?
right.
Okay,
that's right.
okay.
And should this be approved, then you will have 3 lots,
In that one parcel?
right, and they'll have new names.
Okay. And I might have missed it, but when you were sharing with us that Habitat for Humanity does and was granted by Planning Commission a setback exception on one of the lots from 10 foot to 8 foot. Was any reason given for it?
Yes, there is.
What was that reason?
There's not enough room on the lot
Okay.
to place the 3-bedroom home.
So they're going to need those additional 2 feet to make
Those-
the square footage work out?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of Ms. Selman from the board members?
Director Webb, Mayor, other members of the board, your packet will include a map that you're looking at, an aerial that's showing the real property ID numbers. It'll also show some other development, the infill redevelopment that Habitat has done previously on OMA to give you some scale of what the different parcels will look like after they're replatted
Right.
through this process.
Now, Kathy, you'd indicated that the Planning Commission looked at various options and then provided some approvals based on certain things being done. Was there any now, this borders on the front and back of these lots are on different streets, right?
The front and, well, the front and sides of the existing lots. There are 2 that front on, I don't want to tell you wrong here, I think OMA, and they now have a side yard on Castleton. When this is reconfigured into 3 lots, then the new lot will have will have a front on Castleton.
And 2 on OMA?
Yes, and 2 on OMA.
Okay. Any additional questions? Thank you. Oh, what was the source of these, of Lot 10? Did they acquire it through a condemnation or donation, or? do you
I
recall?
cannot answer that. I know that they own it now. How it came to them probably would be a great question for the applicant.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Final item of your agenda currently is consider ordinance 02541. This is an ordinance amending the zoning map for lots 1 through 3 of Block 102 of the Hot Springs Reservation. This is commonly known as 500 Quapaw Avenue, from residential neighborhood 5 to neighborhood commercial, amending the future land use map designation to commercial enclave, and for other purposes. We have Kathy Selman, Planning Development Director.
Thank you. The applicant on this is Tina Cox, representing the property owner, Tamunavik Partnership Limited. And the request is for neighborhood commercial zoning on 1.32 acres of land at the corner of Orange Street and Quapaw Avenue. It has a future land use classification of residential medium high. It's in Board of Directors, District Number 1. Just got a typo, sorry about that. The development on the land at this time is known as the Quapaw Community Center, and this is 2 pretty good sized non-conforming structures. They have always been non-residential structures. The zoning has always been residential. How those 2 things came together, we don't know. This is a request that would cure that nonconformity. It's 500 feet northwest from Washita Avenue and 1,300 feet northwest of Central Avenue. There is 170 feet of frontage on Orange and 360 feet of frontage on Quapaw. Adjacent and nearby land uses include business offices, multifamily residential, single-family residential, multi-tenant commercial buildings, law offices. The commercial district purpose for the CN Neighborhood Commercial District says it is intended to accommodate convenience, commercial, and personal service uses that primarily serve nearby residential neighborhoods, often in a nodal development form. And what a nodal development form is something that is not necessarily contiguous to other things like it. So you do have Pawpaw Community Center, which is not like anything else around it. So we have the conditions apparently for the CN Commercial Neighborhood District at this site. There are technical points that must be reviewed in a rezone request. 3 of those are compatibility with surrounding development or zoning. Whether how nonconformity plays in, and this in fact corrects existing nonconformity, and it is consistent with the objectives of the zoning code when compared with the definition of the purpose for the neighborhood commercial district. The application narrative mentions that the property was constructed as a commercial building and has operated as one. Jay Lawson of CrossFit Hot Springs has been a tenant at this site since 2013. And according to the applicant, rezoning it to CN would correct the nonconformities for our current tenant, as their use is not allowed under the RN5 zoning. The staff report recommendation to Planning Commission was that they recommend that you adopt an ordinance amending the zoning map by designating the subject property neighborhood commercial because the change demonstrates compatibility with surrounding development and zoning, is consistent with the objectives of the zoning code, and then they recommended amending the future land use plan map to designate the property office center. Well, at Planning Commission, there was a good turnout from the neighborhood. Their meeting was advertised and held on September 11th, and after calling for testimony, 4 citizens came up and spoke. The citizens were Wooten, Videnage, Bridges, and DeCarlo. They asked questions. They expressed some support. They specifically supported the community center, but not the rezone, and suggested some alternatives to rezoning. After Planning Commission considered their testimony and the record, they voted 7-0 to accept the staff findings and amended, though, the recommendations on the change to the future land use plan map designation, changing that from the proposed office center designation to commercial enclave, and chose commercial enclave for the purpose of emphasizing that the recommended CN zone change was to correct the existing use nonconformity rather than a finding that the area is suitable for future commercial expansion. Planning Commission recommends that the board adopt an ordinance accordingly. And that concludes the presentation.
Any questions? Oh, got a bunch. Director Garcia.
In the packet, can you include this, what CN, whatever the change, what other types of businesses
Yes.
can be, if the CrossFit's not there, what else could go in there?
Yep, we'll include the table of uses.
Thank you.
Director Trustee.
Thank you, Mayor. Kathy, the 4 that spoke at the meeting, did this new designation alleviate their concerns? Or were they not in favor of that?
They They had already spoken at the time the new designation came up.
Okay.
I can say this, that the secondary conversations that were occurring in the crowd became less at that point.
Okay.
So I'm drawing a conclusion that may or may not be warranted.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any additional questions? Director Holliday?
Thank you. You said the 4 that spoke were in favor of the structure and the community center and possibly its future uses, but they were not in favor of rezone. All things considered at the moment, is a rezone the only way to create conformity, or is there perhaps another option?
That is pretty much it.
Okay.
Kathy, you'd indicated, Orange Street and Prospect. I mean, it comes up Hawthorne too, so we're talking about that area between.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And historically, the zoning for residential begins at, or single family or something or other, begins right there at Hawthorne and goes west. That remains unchanged?
This is the only change, is on the site of the community center.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, I believe that completes the action items that will be formally addressed next Tuesday evening, October 7th already, 6 PM. Did he have some? Bill, did you have something you wanted to offer? Bill? You have any
No, sir.
closing comment? Okay.
No, sir, thank you.
You're welcome. So we'll go ahead and adjourn the agenda meeting, but ask the city directors to kind of stay in their chairs, and we'll move right into the special